Montego Bay madness, the Ponzi partner plan scheme craze in the 1990s to the 2000s. Yes, it happened all in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Many people expressed the idea that Jamaica is not a real place, based on the unique nature of the daily happenings. Hello and welcome to my channel. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel. I promised to bring you reflections of my past and of course the present, and make a connection with culture and history of course. In the late 1990s, Jamaica was buzzing with a whirlwind of ideas. It seems like everyone on the island was chasing one thing: wealth. I'm not saying you should not chase wealth, but you could go anywhere at that point in time, and anywhere you went, you'd hear someone talking about money run things. Yes, it was true. Money was a talk of the town, especially in Montego Bay, and everyone wanted a piece of the pie. Now, let me tell you about the craze that swept through Jamaica during this time. It was like wildfire. It started like a whisper about a new partner plan. This wasn't the typical partner plan, where you chipped in your money with a group of friends and took turns in receiving a lump sum. Remember, some people liked the first draw or second draw. To be honest, the traditional partner plan, which I'll do another video on, was really worthwhile because people could get their draw at a certain time based on their needs. For example, if you have someone going to the university, you'd ask the banker to give you a first draw or anywhere in that line to make sure that you had money to give your child. And if you were doing a building and you wanted to do the decking, your partner would just come right in time. Yes, the traditional partner was good, but this one was different. This one again was totally different. This was a partner plan that you invested your money with a promise that you would even double or triple as more people joined. Sounds too good to be true. That was because it was. The scheme made its way into the beautiful and friendly city of Montego Bay and quickly spread like wildfire across the island. People as far from Kingston were flocking to the friendly city to get in on this action. It didn't matter what your profession was, everyone wanted a piece of the pie, even if they didn't fully understand what was taking place. For example, Miss Jane, she lived in Westmoreland, but she came to Montego Bay, heard about the goodness and wanted her draw. Therefore, she placed $6,000 with the expectation of getting $18,000 within another 3 weeks. Sounds too good to be true. Before long, Montego Bay was buzzing with excitement. People were raking in thousands of dollars. They weren't shy about spending or just showing off. Some people were buying new brand mattresses. Others were jetting off to foreign lands to buy fancy clothes. And those who were ambitious, they even started building their own homes. But little did they know that trouble was brewing beneath the surface. As one Ponzi scheme flourished, another one popped up in another place. Rumors emerged that even politicians, bigwigs, and top officials were involved in these shady dealings. Rumor had it that two major political parties received money from one of the Ponzi scheme, who traded in dollars. According to the Gleaner, Olint, one of the Ponzi scheme, supported both political parties. The then operator, David Smith of Olint, lived the lifestyle of the rich and famous. And of course, he had a $2 million home. But as they say, what goes on in the dark must come to light. Long before the cracks started to show, people weren't getting the returns they had been promised. Some were investing their hard-earned retirement funds without understanding the risk. And when the dust settled, the reality is the situation was hard to understand and fathom. Many of the masterminds behind these schemes were arrested, but justice was hard to come by. Investigations were launched, but not much came out of it. The damage had already been done and people were left to pick up their pieces of their shattered dreams. After 2 decades, only $500,000 of the billions were recovered from these schemes. For many, these partner plans remained a painful memory. The names David Smith and others would be engraved in the memory of men as they thought about what had happened, and still many did not understand. David Smith was never convicted in Jamaica. However, David Smith was unable to maneuver other governments, and he was arrested and sentenced for his fraudulent act. And the case against Carlos Hill ended in 2017. In summary, the lack of paper trail and various schemes made it difficult to recoup additional money. And let me say that many Jamaicans still remember this time, a time that some of them flourished, but a time when many lost their investments and continue to work now to ensure that they can manage their retirement. In the end, the lesson was clear. When something seems too good to be true, it probably isn't. But hey, you live and you learn. And while the scars of these partner plans and Ponzi schemes have faded, the memories will continue. It will be a part of Jamaica's history. Because this came and it went. And I'm sure there are other schemes popping up now as we speak. Yes, and it happened again. Ponzi scheme crashes. Thousands of Jamaicans swindled out of millions. And this was again in 2024. According to the report, over 50,000 Jamaicans have lost over several millions of dollars in a new Ponzi scheme that crashed on January 29th, 2024. How recent. The losses, according to the report, are between 7,500 Jamaican to 3 million per individual. The question is asked, how could this happen again? And it's possible. Where there's a gap and a void, someone will try to exploit that. And that's the reality. And if we don't talk about the past, how can it guide the present? Not many of the youngsters who might have been involved in this Ponzi scheme realize what has taken place because the history was not taught to them. We have an obligation to inform the current generation about what happened in the past. Another point I want to make is that every Jamaican needs to be digitally literate. It means navigating the digital world, especially in the era of AI. I just wonder how many scams, how many partner plans, how many Ponzi schemes will emerge in the digital form. So we must educate to ensure that the population is safe. But as they say again, Jamaica is not a real place. So I'm waiting to see what opportunity will these innovative people come up with to rip off their fellow Jamaicans. That's the reality check.